Pleasure to meet y'all at last. Welcome back to Why Is That? A series dedicated to answering questions. This is certainly almost like a Q&A sort of session, but instead, like your traditional Q&A sessions, this type of Q&A session, which is given a different name for various reasons, is much more dedicated to going through a much more through session that explains so many parts as to a certain topic that many would want to bring up at some point. So what I do, instead of just avoid their questions, is just go right into the core of their topics and just answering every bit of these questions. There's nothing else that can be involved in this. There's no slander, there could be no sarcasm, there could be no exaggeration. Only answer right now. So for today's question, which was sponsored in the following screenshots, you can see here that a few of them correlate to the fact that I wear Vibrams and Injinjis almost all the time. And if not, I'm wearing Altros or any kind of wide toe box shoes. Well, to those who commented or tweeted about that, here we go. Based on my answers as to why I wear those kind of footwear. The reason why I started wearing that kind of footwear that involves 5-finger shoes, wide toe box shoes, and of course the Injinji toe sock and otherwise, this dates back to when I was around 2nd grade. This is where I first got to know about the traditional narrow toe box design and how it began really impacting my foot shape, and therefore my foot health was being endangered greatly. So I tried my best to do what I could to research anything that could help, and I did find a couple of shoes. They were still narrow toe boxed, but they did provide to have some sort of a medical grade curable sensation that I've never really came to prefer. They were just plain black shoes with laces that I didn't necessarily have to tie. Yes, I know, back then I did not really know how to tie my own laces, but I was kind of a late bloomer because I did eventually start tying laces before I started middle school, around summer of 2011. But by that time though, there had been a lot more to come than just finishing school for me. At the same time, however, in the summer of 2011, was where I discovered the original Injinji toe sock, that of which changed the world. An invention like that, unlike any other toe sock, the Injinjis were definitely designed for many different activities and many different kinds of possible shoe of which that you already own. You could wear them with your tennis shoes, your sneakers, your business shoes, dress shoes really in general. You could also wear them with boots, you could wear them with sandals even if you so chose to do that. If you so choose to do that. But you could always wear them without any shoes too. And they really battle the elements in terms of proper foot health and proper foot care. But the reason behind me joining into this community that involves good foot health and proper podiatry that's set in motion was because I eventually got the money that I needed to have to at least try the Injinji toe sock, which did not happen until early August of 2017. It's just over a year ago. By that point, I had myself some green Injinji toe socks, which were the mini crew style. It involved a cuff, a really thick cuff that just surrounded the ankle, and it really held the sock in place. I had several pictures I took of it as soon as I got them, and I even made some, pretty decent runs with it. It really changed my life there. Just wearing nothing but regular socks, regular shoes, it really did nothing for me. But I can't ultimately blame any of the companies that created the shoes and socks, including Nike, Adidas, Puma, Vans, anything else like that. Eventually though, after I got my first pair of Injinji toe socks, I decided to try to get more on Christmas. And I did. I ended up getting 2-3 more pairs, except, well, apparently I got 2 of the same kind. It's the Spectrum design, which are the crew socks, and yeah, I got 2 of those, but I also got these ones over here, which are in gray and white, and they don't involve the thick cuff like my green ones did. But after December of 2017 was where I decided to make a move to getting more and more and more of those Injinji toe socks. So what I did was that I just kept shopping on Amazon any time that I could, and I just kept buying as many as I could. But, well, this summer up until here on September 14th, up till today, was where I managed to get more and more and more of them. And as you can see in this picture over here, I bought 4 of them at the same time. And there are still going to be more that I am going to purchase until I have an adequate supply of them that's enough to last me every day without having to really go back to traditional socks. I mean, I am not doing that, of course. But aside from all that though, let's move on to the shoes, shall we? The first kind of shoes I got that were wide toe box or had the original 5-finger design, I actually did buy one of each of those variants. The 5-finger design and the wide toe box design. The wide toe box design involved Ultra Instinct 4.5s, which were black in color with white and gray on them. And the 5-finger design that I managed to get for my first pair of that particular design were the Vibram 5 Fingers Trek Ascent in a deep pond color, because why not? And plus those shoes were on sale at around $54, so that was by far the cheapest pair that I managed to come across. And they did pretty darn well. In these 2 videos here, I'll put links to them in the description below, so this way you can find out my feedback and my comments all about the Vibram 5 Fingers that I owned. It was just 1 pair at the time though. There are still plans that I will get more 5-finger shoes along with more wide toe box shoes, and I'm even considering buying some Lems boulder boots or even something else like that. Plus, I was also thinking about getting Tune dress shoes, which also have the wide toe box design in them. There's going to be a lot of shoes in this day and age that involve the wide toe box design, or at least the 5-finger design. And of course though, everybody could be commenting, why exactly are you calling them 5-finger shoes? Those are toes, not fingers. Well, that is because we are part of the primates group, so our feet are technically hands. If you've not seen what a monkey could do, or what an ape could do, or what a baboon can do, then you have no idea what we can do as primates. We are the most intelligent portion of the primates group yet, but I mean, humanity is still an animal. There's no really way around it. We're part of the animal group, so this is just a big deal for everybody that they need to take, because they need to stop isolating themselves from the animal kingdom, because as primates, as we are part of that group, we should stop trying to hide and just consider ourselves part of the animal kingdom. We make up a really huge portion of the animal kingdom today, with more than 4 billion people on Earth, and I cannot really stress that enough, because people just don't like being animals, really. We're just more intelligent than the rest of the animals in the world, but that doesn't mean we aren't animals. It just doesn't. Anyways, aside from all that though, the wide toe box design and the 5-finger design were both features of shoes that I have craved for so long now. And it wasn't until June of 2018, which was a few months back, that I was able to get one of each of those kind of shoes. I convinced my grandmother to purchase them for me. $119 the Ultras cost, and The Vibrams, though, $54. I mean, that's quite a big bargain at this point. Even though they're that price, they are pretty much brand new. Still. And everything about the 5-finger design is something I'm thinking everybody should love. If they don't need to love, they don't love the 5-finger design, that's fine. They could at least go to the wide toe box design, as well as have something on them that can pair well with the wide toe box design, with that kind of shoe, including the Injinji toe sock, Pedagmus metatarsal pads, Struts foot pads, and even Correct Toes toe spacers, invented by Ray McClanahan years back. And of course, nowadays, all of us are looking forward to having ourselves some great foot health and the kind of podiatry that nature intended for us, with feet that are widest at the ends of the toes. Like newborns, for example, have a really great representation of how a nice, wide, healthy foot shape is supposed to be. Except for all these years, for hundreds upon thousands of years even, was where we have been doing nothing but just cramming our feet into very narrow shoes that don't even serve any purpose other than to just really hinder the effects as to what wrong foot health could get you. There's a lot of issues relating to that. There's bunions, hammer toes, cross toes, neuromas, plantar fascia pain, ingrown toenails, corns, calluses, and even worse than that, there's still plenty of other issues out there other than the ones I just mentioned. But still, people just don't like to pay attention to them. They just go with whatever looks best and look for whatever's more expensive, usually, as it turns out. I mean, I could even convince my brother to at least give my Altras a try, even though I'm not wearing them at the moment, because I'm a dummy, because I like to use anything as long as possible. I've got old Converse on right now, and they are narrow toe box, but I did break them in, and I did spend more than a month adjusting to the Altras, 2 months even. So my Converses are not really scrunching my toes together, really. They've already been broken in, and they're wide enough that my toes could just splay out a bit. Because, well, first of all, the first pair of Converse I got was a size 12, and that's one reason why it's a bit loose as well. Even though I have them tied on nice and tight, not tight to the point in which it's going to impede blood flow to the foot, but it's still being a bit wider than my actual shoe size, which is around 10.5 to 11.5. I just cannot really say for myself that Converse should be a recommended option for those who are looking forward to getting good foot health. But I would still at least try to encourage others to go in the same direction that I have been going for more than a year now. Starting with one pair of Injinji toe socks, going up to at least 10 of them, and getting my first pair of Vibrams, and getting my first pair of Altras, and just settling on the fact that good foot health should be for everybody. That right there in a nutshell is the reason why I ended up joining that sort of community. The community of proper podiatry, as I've known it as, for more than 2 years actually. I have seen so many videos on YouTube about Vibram 5 fingers or Altra shoes or anything else in particular. Heck, there's even a website that has been absolutely dedicated to promoting great foot health called naturalfootgear.com. I'll put a link to their website down in the description box so you can check them out, find all the available kinds of shoe, find any available shoe or boot or sandal that's out there today that you can purchase, and it'll promote you great foot health within a matter of years even. Correct Toes toe spacers is definitely a really great start. Wearing them barefoot with an Injinji toe sock or with something that has a wide toe box would definitely be a great way to get yourself started to what proper foot health would look like. It would only take at least a year for anybody to realize how well foot health should be. And yet, all these years, they've decided not to pay attention to it. They've always been paying attention to regular socks, regular shoes. They pay for really expensive narrow toe box shoes rather than going on the cheap like I have and spending less money on that and spending, well, money that would be a lot more less than the kind of money you'd spend on a narrow toe box shoe on a wide toe box shoe. My Ultras did indeed cost $119, but from the way I've seen it, a lot of narrow toe box shoes like Nike shoes definitely sell for more than $150 a pair. You're paying $150 just to cram your toes together and to really promote bad foot health. You're really demoting the kind of foot health that should be existent today by now. Anyways though, if anybody wants to see more, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side. Oh, and just one more thing. There are indeed plenty of pairs of shoes, boots, sandals, socks, any of the sort that would match with the criteria that I have just described throughout this whole episode of Why's That? Naturalfootgear.com's link is in the description below, so this way you can check them out anytime. Also, make sure to submit your question in the form of a Why's That question. Start with Why's That, and then tell me your question.